Listen, I don't know about you, but I've started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel. What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Drop that city and state in the chat as we proceed to give you what you need. It's a Saturday. Could be doing a million different things. We're not. We're here real quick before we go to the gym. Well, we're going a couple different places, but I'm going to go with those sweaty shirts on. Drop your city and state in the chat. You see the title, The Frequency of Excellence. 16 weeks left, and just getting by won't work. It won't. It won't work. I don't know what to tell y'all. Now, you may have seen the past videos. There's been a lot of commotion the past couple days over Mr. Kurt and the terrible incident that happened. I just want to put it to you one more time. Again, I confused him, just for clarification, on our last show with his co-host on his podcast, because they were doing an extensive show about Ohio. I want to correct that. I like being knowledgeable. I like being well-read. So I just want to correct that. He is from Arlington Heights, in another neighborhood that is a suburb of Chicago. So when you start something at 18, being a personality, talking out loud, it takes a lot of courage. And that's the nicest I can be right there. The rest, I still stand by. I still mean exactly what I say. I still am 100%. You got to be careful the energy you reap and sow and things you put out there, because frequency has power. Now, I'm not going to go too woo-woo with y'all today. I actually have some teachable moments today. So let's get into it while we're at it. Okay. Frequency of excellence. What does that mean? Why do I have the winter arc man in the background? Why is the hair curls all over the place? Because there are. We're in the frequency of excellence. Okay. Frequency of excellence is an actual book. So just so you know, it is an actual book. Okay. But secondly, you start to build habits and patterns. Now, there is a particular entrepreneur that I know does financially super well. I noticed they gained like 30 pounds of weight. And I was like, okay, what's going on with him? Now, I already knew just by patterns, thought process, this person's probably on TRT, it doesn't matter, whatever. And of course, today they came out and said they were. And I was like, good for you. Good for you. Get it off your back. Get the monkey off your back. Why? Because there's patterns and frequency. If anybody follows you enough, watches you enough, they can figure that out. People's spouses figure that out. That's how when people wives say, I didn't know he was cheating, they're lying. Because we all give off certain frequencies and certain patterns that if you actually give a crap about the person in your house or you're paying attention to them, you know what's going on. You know if there's change in your kids. Some of these people got kids that act real crazy and weird, and they know they're watching that kid. They've seen that kid's frequencies change. Okay, let me try to fix some of these. Get this out of the hair face just a little bit. But let's get into it. All right. Let's get into it. Because we could cut up today, but we're going to be good. Okay. Now, what is something that's super popular? Someone asked me about, where could you're not no longer talking about $1,000 houses and tax liens and tax deeds. And I want to say this, and I'll be very clear. There is a million ways to make $1 million in real estate. What's the bad side? There's a million ways to make $1 million in real estate. Some people will sit at one table and they only do mobile homes forever, forever, forever. That's all they are. Some people are like, I only buy apartments. I only am in syndications. Some people do a million different frequencies, and that's okay. And all of them took a little hit this past couple months, right? There's no one in any category that can say they didn't take a hit in a recession, because we are in one, and they did take it. Okay. Now, what's the power of being in that frequency, though? The power is, if you are in tuned, if you are full of networking in the real estate space, you can hop and slide to different things. As you grow, as you determine, okay, well, I don't want to be in Detroit anymore. Cleveland been all right. I maybe get two more duplexes out of there. Or this area has been okay. I can still do more over here. But you will slide to other frequencies. You will slide to other opportunities just by you taking action. Now, one of the biggest things y'all always bring up on this channel, which kind of I am concerned about some of y'all, I think you need therapy, is imposter syndrome. I get that all the time. That's like my number one question. And I'm like, the more action you take, the less you should feel that way. If you're having a feedback loop problem, you may need a little therapy. You just may. It's not disrespectful. I've had therapy. Lots of people I know have had therapy. And the more action you take, I tell people all the time, get a sheet of paper and write out your wins, what you've done great. Because a lot of times people will harp on what they lost. Oh, I used to do this. I used to do that. Girl, I used to be a cheerleader in high school. Girl, I used to be a size 2. Like all this stuff. We know that. You done told us that. You lost that. Okay, next. What have you done since? And that's the conundrum. Most people are doing lives they do not like, they do not enjoy, that are on standstill. That's why wanderlust is so robust in America, right? And if you guys can hear me and see me, drop a 1 in the comments. I'm just trying to make sure you guys are in here. I see Reno, Nevada, New York City, MA. I guess that's Massachusetts in the house. Okay, Massachusetts about to get the leaves up there. Drop a 1 in the comments so I make sure y'all can hear me and see me. Okay. Now, why am I talking about this? Where is this going with this? Why am I talking about this? A lot of times people will say, well, this is the one way to do something and it's perfect. And I've told y'all, once you get off the, what's the path I want to call it? Go to school, get a job, stay consistent path. Once you detour off that path a little bit, you start opening the door to other frequencies, right? When you start learning about side hustles or side businesses or investing, you start going, whoa, I don't know as much as I thought. And so you start expanding, digging deeper, diving, trying to grow. That's just the nature of wanting to grow, wanting to be better. Now, prime example, I have a friend who's very attractive and she used to work in pharmaceutical sales. Very beautiful lady. And most of the time I would tell you, if you're a good looking person, like multiple people have told you your whole life, you're a good looking person, you should go in pharmaceutical sales, tech sales, whatever sales, right? Because people like hearing from good looking people. That just is what it is. We can't change that, right? We just can't change that. That's biology. But also because you're a good looking person, people like to say yes to you. Okay. That's one. Number two. Okay. The reason I'm using this friend as an example is the man she ended up marrying, people were like, whoa, what about all these guys that were just knocking the door down trying to talk to you? This guy was just like, no, I've seen plenty of pretty girls. I work in sales too. You're all right. So it's 2 salespeople that got together, and I laugh about their story. Now they have 3 kids. Everything's good. They're Gucci. Okay. The point of me telling that story is a lot of times people get into a frequency of people telling them yes and doing whatever they want, and they're really good at their job or they're really good at sales. And so when you disrupt that pattern, they're like, whoa, wait a minute. That person isn't doing exactly what I want them to do. What in the world, right? And you need that. You need that, right? Some of y'all, it's going to come in the form of your parents have health problems, your kids are having problems, something happened at their school, something's happening. And it's made you have to change frequencies, okay? And that's okay. I'm not, the thing that happened a couple days ago with Mr. Kurt is a frequency changer. A lot of people think they bowdy. Guess what they learned yesterday, 2 days ago? They're not. The convictions they had, they don't really have them. Right. And what I've also learned in this is if I just post more Bible verses, I can get away with anything. I've told y'all this in business. We know several business people who've done unspeakable things. And then they come out, start posting Bible verses and Grant Cardone verses and Rich Dad Poor Dad verses. And people are like, yeah. Because people have the mind of goldfish. It's like 3 months later, they completely forgot what you did. And that's why I tell people the video can be a help or a hindrance. Because we can always go dig up videos of people saying wow, crazy stuff. Okay. Just gonna leave that there. Now there's 3 books I think you should put in your calendar. Again, I'll put the links after this video renders. The Success Equation, The Quality of Earnings, and Geopolitical Alpha by Marco Pipkin or something like that. Now I want you to honey, yes. It's insane. So put those books in your calendar. Now, yes, are they more on the financial side? They're, kind of deep dives. And you may say, Erica, I don't want to read. Can you give me the QuickBooks version? Can you give me the overview? No, I'm not. Because when you ask, why do I say stuff so confidently? Why am I speaking about people's patterns and stuff I'm seeing? It's from these. among many other books, but these are just ones that are on my mind. The Success Equation. You'll like it. It has a little bit of sports in it. Quality of Earnings and Geopolitical Alpha. Those are three I really recommend. Okay. And I'll put their links in the community tab and in this video at the renders. Now, why am I talking about this? Because macro conditions always change. You know, right now, everybody is posting hashtag Charlie Kirk. Ain't nobody said, them people done bomb Qatar. I'm trying to step on it lightly. Because we literally are on a frequency of what? Social media. Y'all not ready for this conversation, but let me keep it pushing. Right now, there was a woman called Lisa Phillips. Anybody in here know who Lisa Phillips is? I've talked about her for many times on this channel. Talked about her for years. Lisa Phillips came out and was like, "Yo, 30K houses in Detroit, 30K houses in parts of Chicago, 30K houses in Indiana, 30K houses in the hood, and I'm getting $900 a month rental income off of them." And people were like, "Boo! Boo you, get out of here, scram, black lady, scram, get out of here, boo, you're terrible, those houses are dogs." 2 years later, the same people dogging her out on Bigger Pockets, on multiple platforms, on multiple videos, were talking about the same thing she was doing and made more money doing it. Brandon Turner. I mean, we can go real deep in this, but I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna go too far in the real estate legacy of beef because most people won't remember, and then most people say, "Well, Erica, that was years ago, just let it go." And I just want to, a reason I'm bringing that up is you can be the first person to talk about something, but you may not be the one they want to hear it from. Period. Point. Ben Shapiro was doing college tours. Young people are like, "Okay, older Jewish man, I don't care what you're talking about. Here come Charlie Kirk. Here come Candace Owens. Here come several. We can put several names in there. People like seeing stuff from people they want to see it from. Ain't nothing we can do about it. You know, it don't got to be no rhyme or reason, right? Somebody 70 years old talking about Ronald Reagan versus somebody in their 20s talking about Ronald Reagan. The guy that's 70 was there. Okay. The guy that was older was there. You're just doing quotes. Okay. You're doing the nice history. You're forgetting about all the war on drugs stuff. You're forgetting about the neighborhoods being flooded with drugs. Like, you're forgetting that part, right? I'm gonna tiptoe around that. I'm gonna go back to Lisa Phillips. Let me get out of there. Okay, so why am I bringing up Lisa Phillips? Because really what she was doing was opening the curtain on what a lot of white boys have been doing for years. She just pulled back the curtain on wholesaling. She pulled back the curtain on a lot of activity in those markets. This is why you have the third and fifth ward in Houston, Texas, and there's 5 families that own 80% of all the properties. 2 are Italian, the other 3 are Jewish. And so when Chris Senegal and a lot of black people tried to get into the game of real estate, buying, holding, selling, developing in the hood in Houston, it was a problem. See, because y'all don't know the conditions. Y'all don't know the macro conditions. You don't know the city conditions. You just say, these black people need to get a job and buy a house. Really? When you can't get a loan for houses under $75,000, which is what most of these were in the hood. So who has the money to get a $30K, $75,000 house? People who have a really great job, 1, 2, have access to credit, 2, 3, raise private money, 3, 1, have hard money access. So again, I can go way deep into why there's so many African American people who don't have what y'all think they should have. Right? We can go super deep. Now, I can tell you on one level, some people have to be exposed. Some people have to at least have 2 years of tax returns, taxes paid, not trying to get over, not trying to get a lick, at least just be knowledgeable, right? But what is the incentive? If you're being promoted to just go out, stunt, buy a new car, look pretty, get the hair done. Every Friday is Friday. Just got paid Friday night, right? Every weekend is that. It's not till what happens. 2 things: marriage and kids get added to the equation. This is why more women own a house than men, not because of divorce, not because of death, not because grandma left them a house, because the women got to a point where they're like, I got to get something for these kids. And I can qualify based off what? Blah, 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 right? This is literally life. If you're a single man, no kids, no wife, why would you buy a house? Unless you're from a South place where you're like, I really need a piece of land, put my trailer, put my truck, like Several of my family members are, guys are. I need some places to store my stuff, my boat. You're not gonna be thinking about a house. You're gonna be thinking about, how do I get closest to where the booty at? How can I get closest to the action? Where the ladies at? Okay. That's what you're gonna be most on, right? Is that commentary? How can I get close to that? Right? Can y'all hear me? I'm trying to make sure y'all hear me and see me. Okay. So Lisa Phillips opened that door that so many Black, Latino are trying to go to the nice areas to buy a rental because they don't want to deal with people that look like them sometimes. That just is what it is, right? But there's so many steps people are skipping when we talk about the frequency of excellence. We talk about, earlier there was a post, I shared it on, I think I shared it on YouTube. And it was the guy who was a football NFL player who married Kim Gonzalez or whatever. She was older than him. She already had kids. She's a white woman that trapped him. Y'all don't think that exists, but it did. And she get pregnant and she blowing through the money. She shopping, she gambling. She got gambling debt. She tripping. And he's like, well, I tried to invest the money, but she wouldn't let him. So many men kept saying she wouldn't let him. You're telling me an NFL big burly 6'5" man running through people could not tell a woman that he was going to take this money and invest it? No, I will not let men do that. I will not let people play that game, because at the end of the day, you had Kobe Bryant leave basketball, and Kobe Bryant would have been one of these billionaires that we saw constantly on CNBC. And when you watch some of his last interviews, the first thing he says out of his mouth, I want to be known as an investor. So many times, like this is his last interview of him being alive. I want to be known as a great investor. Oh, what about basketball? No, investor. This what I want to be remembered for. The way that man was talking, that man was about to run it up. We were about to see him on the cover of Forbes all the time. Black billionaire Kobe Bryant. And what does that do? And that's not a conspiracy or anything. That's just what out the man's mouth. And his investments did actually make them a billionaire. If he's still alive, his wife had to sell some of that stuff. It is what it is. More football players would have woke up, right? You listen to Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson say every day he getting calls. All kind of players all over the league. Hey man, I want to talk to you, man. I got this family, man. So you're telling me we have thousands of people. I'm gonna go there for a second. Powerful, strong, 6 foot something, 300 pounds, can run through grown men, but can't develop what? This right here. Got people ripping them off left and right. There's no attention to it, right? Because 9 times out of 10, when you acquire wealth, this is something Grant Cardone complains about. People go from active making the money mode to protect the money. If you're in NFL, that's what you need to be doing. If you're in NBA, that's what you need to be doing. It ain't like, I got to focus on these workouts. I got to focus on this. No, every time you're not working out, baby, you need to be reading financial books. Nah, Erica, where the hoes at? I get it. I hear you. Y'all are setting these people up for a life of failure, right? Just from the frequency of what they do. Now, I just showed y'all on the community wall. Let me see if I can pull it up. He did an interview, and he basically was saying, marriage was the worst thing ever happened to me. Now you start digging into it a little bit. You're listening to you're like, all right, I'm gonna listen to this. I'm gonna listen to this interview. You know what I'm saying? I don't really believe it, but I'm gonna listen to this interview. Okay. Now, again, what happened in the interview? He's saying marriage was the worst thing ever happened to him. What really was the problem is he was committed to what? Okay, let me see if I can show my page right now. Let me do it like this. What's up, Chicago, Illinois? What's good in the building? In the hood. Up to no good. Okay, let me show y'all this. Okay, so again, this is about frequency. Often Clifton Powell says marriage was his business mistake after losing $10 million in his divorce. I had an outside life. I partied, I gambled, I had a lot of women, and was never home. Now, what was he committed to, y'all? What was he committed to? I'm just using this as an example, and then I'm gonna go on to business stuff. He was committed to the frequency of being outside. Committed to the frequency of being a hoe. I don't know what the words are you want me to use, but this is why I tell y'all to study people's patterns. This is why I was telling y'all about my friend that was in sales. A lot of people who are in sales, they get so good at talking to people. They're some of the smoothest, dangerous people you ever want to be around, because they have practiced the art of patterns. They have practiced the art of, they know what to say to get you where you need to go. This is why that, I have uncles in my family say, don't date a man that's been out there hunting too long. I'm gonna just say that. Don't date a man that's been out there hunting too long. Wow, he done got good at talking to women. He done got good at putting on nice clothes. He done got good at putting on good cologne. He done got good at this. This is where he's excellent at. You're taking someone who's excellent at running in the streets and talking to women and being a flirty flirt and trying to put them in a house like a house cat. That doesn't mix. People that want to be house cats try to get out the game early. I remember a friend who was 23. He's like, I'm done. Married the first girl that came by. Okay. I have family members who were done at 21. Okay. So this person's frequency was being good at gambling, partying. This is the epitome of a single guy. Why would he even get married? Right. And again, people like marriage isn't for everybody, Erica. Let me tell you something. In some societies, honey, we would hit you with a stone in your head and get you up out of here. You start saying stuff like that, they're going to take a stone and bust you in your head. Just simple as that. Simple as that. India is having this problem right now. Parts of Africa having this problem right now. They just grabbing people off the streets. Okay. Say that however you want to think it. And they will bust you in the head to the white meat. Our society and most of all of America and the world is little villages originally we started about villages of 150 people. Right? You kind of had to adjust to who's in the village, or keep your daughter from over there, keep your son from over here. Right? But now we're in these major cities. We still go back to what? Little villages, little neighborhoods, little communities. You have people renting an apartment in the same area for 20 years. I see it all the time. Somebody goes to buy an apartment complex. They're going to start, adding value to it, cleaning it up, painting it. The people there hate it because they know things are going to change. And this has been their little whatever for 15, 20 years. They are in a pattern. Okay. Right. Okay. Come on, man. Listen. I just want you to understand, like, instead of him saying, hey, I had to give her half and I went on and live my life. His complaint is I had to give her 10 mil. Now, first people say she won't in the movies doing the acting with them again. If somebody's on the back aisle, paying your bills, keeping the lights on, taking care of your house, taking care of your other things, and you out in the streets, being in the streets, it is what it is. I bring that up and look up the book, The Success Equation. Now, again, I will put these in the comments after this renders. People get into patterns. You can't always predict the Super Bowl and you can't always predict sports, but you can pretty much almost predict patterns. People are big on patterns. They don't even know they're doing it. Right? When people have a baby, I'm like, oh, y'all moving? Oh, why would you say that, honey? What are you talking about? She's already in nesting mode. She's about to get up out of here. It's just patterns. It's not this rocket science y'all try to make it out to be. It really isn't. So let me play this one. It's my favorite. Y'all know him. I like bringing up. He cracks me up all the time.
That you are going to get a better job. You cannot demonstrate leadership roles when you suck at your job, or when you're doing the bare minimum at your job, and when you're just showing in and clocking out. In fact, one of the easiest ways to make a significant jump in either pay or title is to make something at your current job better. When you're looking for leadership roles, they want to see that you have been able to take something in an organization, lead an initiative, and make it better. It doesn't even have to be rocket science. It could be like a recycling program or something very small that just shows you have the ability to see that something is wrong, figure out what to do about it, take lead, see it all the way through, and get some metrics at the end to find out if it worked or not. But the more tangible improvements that you make in your role, that is all stuff that you can not only put on your resume, but you can also talk about it in interviews. And that is what's going to set you up for leadership roles instead of just getting them moved around, maybe here and there, basically doing the same job forever. If you suck at your...
I just want you to understand. The other day, and I know y'all tired of me talking about this, but this is true. There was a young lady, I remember interacting with her. She did not make eye contact. And she could, have a great day. Like, she was annoyed. And I laughed because they sent me they sent me a survey of the hotel and stuff. And I just was like, hey, person has bad eye contact. Person has bad eye contact, did the job, but had bad eye contact, yada, yada, yada. I filled it out I gave them a review. I know she probably like this B, but I want you to understand you can never move up higher than your personal development, y'all. When you go into somebody's, like, why do people go to Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A ain't even the best chicken. I know, slander. Chick-fil-A ain't even the best chicken, but it's the service. Everybody eats it like Chick-fil-A chicken ain't that great. It's not about the food, it's about the service. This is why anytime I talk about Black businesses, instead of somebody telling me about a Black plumber, a Black HVAC, like our family uses Black plumbers, Black HVAC, they're some of the best, nicest people we've ever had. They're quick. They do a great job. I always try to get my parents to leave them a review, get my aunties and them to leave them reviews so they can get more business. Because people who are really good at what they do, they're busy, but they never toot their own horn. And I'm going to go into that in another clip in a second here. But when you're working at a job and you struggle to communicate, you could be having a bad day. I don't know. You struggle to communicate. You at James Chicken Shack, y'all got the best chicken ever, but y'all service sucks. Y'all, the people got a bad attitude. Nobody talks about how good the food is. They talk about the service. Same with, people remember how you make them feel. Same with James Chicken Shack. Chicken be great. Same thing with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A may not be the best chicken, but boy, that service makes you feel good. It's quick. It's on time. Boom. Everybody's attentive. Let's go. Same thing at these jobs. You come to work. You got a stinky attitude. You don't want to make small talk. You don't want to talk to the people in the office. You just want to come in and do your job. Good luck. You're going to keep doing that paper pushing job forever. Like forever. And people like, no, Erica, you don't know that. That's not for sure. That's not true. Hey, don't say that. Like, no, I'm for real. I'm for real. Because this is where people get lost in the sauce. This is where people think it's about what you do, not how you do it. And that's incorrect. So this is another page again. Y'all get hired in tech. You can check his stuff out. I ain't trying to steal nothing. I'm just trying to show you. Again, let's go one more time just to further clarify.
And $350,000 a year on our tech sales jobs. And you may wonder, what's the craziest thing we've ever spent money on? Well, it's not that impressive. We bought like a used Jeep, but we did it with a single commission check. And so that was pretty cool. That's probably the craziest thing that we've ever bought with our careers in tech sales. But we live a very modest life. Like we live in just some small townhouses in a rural community. And we don't drive fancy cars. You can see like we just have some used cars that are fairly old. Another of the craziest things we ever spent money on was a trip to Turks and Caicos, which is like a Caribbean island, for our honeymoon. And what we realized on that trip is that we hate flying, that it actually was like really stressful to go through international customs and be on long flights, and was not as much fun as if we had driven to Florida for cheap, like stayed at some cheap motel on the beach in Florida or Gulf Shores. And so we don't fly for vacation anymore. The things that we've spent money on that bring us the most joy, we have a kid now, but the kid actually is not that, the baby has not actually been that expensive. The biggest things that bring us joy are having low debt. Like we have, the only debt we have is our mortgage. And because we live in a very affordable little townhouse, our mortgage payment's really cheap. So we have a really low mortgage payment. So not having a bunch of debt, not being stressed out about our debt load is the most valuable thing. Our most valuable asset is the fact that we don't have a lot of debt. And that frees us up to do things we really love. Like it frees my wife up to stay home with our baby. If she decides she doesn't want to go back to work, she doesn't have to. She can just stay home, homeschool the kid. And it frees me up if I want to pursue entrepreneurship, or if I decide I want to take a break from tech sales, or just stop working for a year, or if my commission checks don't come in for a couple of years. It's not a big deal because we have a big savings because we're living a really modest lifestyle. And so the craziest, most awesome things that a big salary will buy you, I guess it's cool to have a Jeep. It's fun. That was a single commission check though. And so it really wasn't that crazy. The coolest things that it'll buy you are security and the ability to not have to work for a year, or have freedom of your time to do the things that you're passionate about, to sell the things that you actually care about selling, to work with the people that you really want to work with. So the second secret there is you have to be a low spender. Like, you have to get your spending under control, stop wasting money. Don't buy some stupid BMW status symbol or something like that. Like, there's really not a significant difference between these vehicles and some car that, like a G-Wagon. There's really not. You're going to drive both of them the same amount of hours per week. They're both going to get you to your destination. But one of them is going to saddle you with that BMW or whatever. It's going to saddle you with like a $500, $600 a month car payment. And what people don't realize is you may only spend an hour in your car every week or 2 hours in your car every week, but you have to work a job that you hate for 20 years because of some decision you made to be in a car that's really not that different from the used cars we have. So don't make those crazy financial decisions is number one. And number two, the things that you're going to buy with that high paying job that you're dreaming about are probably going to be security, peace of mind, the ability to sleep well at night, knowing that if things go south, that you're safe and you can take care of your family and loved ones. If you want to do that too, if you want to pursue this kind of lifestyle.
Okay, he's going to pitch you on the recruiter stuff. Now listen, why did I bring up tech? Why have I been talking about sales and tech and all this stuff for the past 2.5 years? I saw so many people who were like, Erica, I want to try entrepreneurship, but I don't have enough money. I don't make enough so I can do this on the side. I don't have enough wiggle room and freedom. I need the cash right now. So I kept just saying, go get the highest paying job you can go get. 90% of us are going to do jobs. It's the 9% that are we're gonna own some type of business. We're gonna own some type of ownership. Now, out of that other 90% that are gonna do the jobs, him and his wife can buy multiple rental properties. They can do multiple investments in stocks. They can do all kind of stuff. What people get caught up in is the stuff, the cars. I'm telling you, the 5 Black women I know, we're not friends. We're loose associates. People kept trying to get us to go play golf together, connect in Austin. These are women who 3 out of them have white husbands. The other 2 have Black husbands. But they met their husbands at work in tech, doing tech sales. They're some of the fittest, nicest ladies I've ever met. And one lady works in water treatment, which is quite funny. But they make high income and they drive modest cars. You think, man, if I lived on that side of town, I'm driving a Porsche. Where they live, their house is a $3 million house in Austin now. When they bought it, probably was $800,000. But it's close to $3 million now, one of the ladies. And so I just want you to understand, like, people are selling you online this like G-Wagon, do nothing all day, yada, yada. When really the true flex is, can you own a house? Does your husband make enough money to own a house without your help? Can he make the house payments without you having to go to work? I know this is offensive. This is a frequency thing. This is, again, right here, perfect example. Jay Way put in here. If you're paying attention, you can usually see a person's next to 2-3 moves in life based on how they're thinking and who they're around. You literally can pick up today, okay, and be in an environment of 5 real estate developers. Guess what you're going to be talking about in 90 days? Nothing but real estate development. If I take you and put you around 5 plumbers, guess what you're going to be talking about? Owning a plumbing business. I took a couple friends and a staff member to an event, and they were like, man, I want to start a roofing company now. And I laughed and I said, that's why I brought you. I brought you so you can see the power of the business. Okay. So what happens is people, you have to start surrounding yourself around a frequency of doing better, being better, wanting more. And so if no one ever exposes you, the problem here, what happens with most people is if they're going to make 120, 200,000, they doing better than everybody in their family. And now they the big dog. They bring the extra food to the cookouts. They do extra stuff. And all that does is strain them down to the nothing. But I will tell you, if your family, and some of us weren't even born, some of us are kids. If your mom and dad are making the same money they were making in 1990, and it's 2025, baby, they're struggling. And they were just getting by. Unless they own a house, unless they have paid off cars, baby, they are struggling. 100%. I watched a video earlier. I was laughing about a dude who just bought a brand new truck and the gas went up to 110. He was like, oh my God. Yeah. Trucks are not for you to drive around and feel like a pretty young man. Very bonita. Very bonita. No, that's not what they're for. Trucks are for working. Trucks are to make money. Trucks are not for stunting. That get over that quick. Right? When people see me, they're like, Erica, I thought you'd have a Porsche by now. Okay, listen. I have 3 SUVs. How many more cars do I need? But 2, yes. But the Porsche can't go everywhere. Porsche can't go to construction sites. Porsche can't go where there's nails on the ground. Porsche can't go, all the different places I would love to take it. Okay. And when you try to explain that to people, they can't grasp it. They can't grasp it that the people they're around, the things they are watching is what's throwing them off. It's what's making life difficult. Okay. Again, why is this guy making videos about tech important? He's basically setting himself up for a recruiting business. Same with Xavier. The reason I show you Mr. Pretentious all the time, he is setting himself up for a recruitment business. Let me do your resumes. Let me help you get in there. Let me help you get in tech. Let me help you get through, in the door. That's what that is. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Again, same thing here.
If you're already working in sales and you have no college degree, you're tired of not getting paid enough, and you want to make a change, I got you. Here are the top 5 sales jobs that you can get hired in right now that will end up with you working remote and getting paid more than 6 figures, medical benefits, and unlimited time off, and uncapped commission in the next 2 years. I got you. And follow this channel. I'm going to change your life, and I do it for free. Number 1 is SDR. Pays 70 to 110K, and at least 50K of that is base pay. It's guaranteed. This is working for the very best software and tech companies. Number 2 is BDR. That's another name for an SDR, a sales development representative, but you may get a little bit more inbound lead flow. In both of these roles, your job is to use your set, to hunt your set, to find people that may be interested in evaluating your product and convince them to book a meeting with your account executive. In these roles, you're doing like 50 to 75 calls a day. And a lot of the time, you're either remote or you go remote really fast. Role number 3 is ISR, inside sales rep. And number 4 is MDR, marketing development rep. Really, these are just other names for an SDR or BDR that these software tech companies are using. Number 5 is account manager. And that's the role that I worked at Dell Technologies to go from making 60K to 220K in just 3 years, and then moving to a remote role for the rest of my life. All of these roles have fast tracks to account executive positions. Somewhere between the 6-month and 18-month mark, you should promote to an account executive if you're performing well. And those roles pay at least $120,000. In my last role, I was making $250,000 a year. All the problems that you're facing in your current sales career are because your company doesn't make enough money. But software companies that sell software to other companies, B2B sales, make so much money that they can promote their reps fast and pay them really well. And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, I don't know how to tell a good tech company from a bad one, don't worry, I got you. Follow this channel. I'm going to give all the sauce away for free. If you're already working.
Okay. Why am I showing you this? This is all frequency talk. If you actually listen to a lot of what they're saying is a lot of wealthy kids, upper middle class kids, a lot of these, he's telling you stuff about hiring managers. They're just sliding into these roles. There was a guy, would love to tell a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I was getting ready to say a story, but I'm gonna back up out of there. A lot of these people, same with Xavier, again, there is, in our society, I'm being careful, in our society, the bar is so low. And the income the average person make is less than 30 to 45,000. This is when they say 40. What is a black job? 46% of black people work making a job that make 30 to 45K. Okay, so when I sit here and talk about tech, oh, look, all these people got wired up in tech. Your goal is to get in there, whether you get in there with Bill Green, Lifting the Veil Academy, whoever. You're in there to get some skills. You can go look at the women in Linux, Tamika Reed, any of these people, and get into the frequency of what's going on over there. Now, these people, the key parts many people did not listen to is the first part of the video I showed where him and his wife are not spending a ton of money. They're covering the basics. What are basics? Survival. It is getting the house. It is getting the safe, well-used car. And then now we take this excess money. And yes, I know several people with black people in tech that travel a ton that first year. And then the second year, they get serious about investments, as you should. As you should. So I just don't want y'all to think, man, Erica, keep talking about this. I just want you to understand this is networking and community and who you're around. So I'll play this part.
Black elite societies definitely still exist. Jack and Jill is probably the most well known, and it's centered around children. And while it is for the children, obviously the parents benefit quite a lot from the networking aspect that they get from the other parents. Programming is mostly centered around social development of the children, who often, but not always, will be growing up in predominantly white neighborhoods and environments. So within Jack and Jill, they're around other wealthy black children, and they're able to socialize, build connections. You have things like the debutante balls, etiquette classes, professional development, college prep, everything that you can think of. Next, you have the Boule or Sigma Pi Phi, which is a fraternity, obviously, for men. Martin Luther King was in this fraternity, W.E.B. Du Bois, probably several others today who obviously are not going to make it onto this public list. This is the most exclusive yet still sort of well known, probably because of its ties to this long list of people. And then for the women, you have the Lynx Incorporated, who just welcomed honorary member Condoleezza Rice. Much larger group than the Boule, and they do a ton of philanthropy work. There might be 1 to 2 exceptions, maybe, but the Black elite organizations stay Black elite organizations. Same with the white ones. Now, the members of the organizations will probably still socialize just in their day-to-day lives and things like that, or even within other organizations in business, what have you. But within the specific Black societies, that is going to be Black people. Within the specific white societies, that's going to be white people. Black elite societies definitely still exist. Jack and Jill is probably the most well known, and it's centered around.
This is what I want to one more time. I'm going to go over this because y'all get mad at me this past week for this. Them naming this child is phonetically. If you have ever as a child, because I had to have hook on phonics because I had speech impediment as a kid. Phonetically, this isn't even sound like people are like, what about Polish names and German names and Polak names? Baby, phonetically, they sound the way they sound. This is made up. Together, it doesn't roll off the tongue well. Now, why am I bringing this up? You just told you Condoleezza Rice, right? Condoleezza Rice. You know, Dave Chappelle jokes, that sounds like a Mexican dish, right? Condoleezza Rice speaks 5 languages. Condoleezza Rice plays tennis. Condoleezza Rice went to Ivy League. Condoleezza Rice was underneath George Bush. This child right here ain't Condoleezza Rice. And this has been the heavy argument of African American people. I'm going to name my child wherever I want. And you're going to kiss the dog's ass. And that's not about the child. That's a pride issue. That's an ego issue. Somebody said, well, okay, Erica with the C and a K. That's widely everywhere. There's a countless number of white and Latino women with Erica with the C and a K. Phonetically, it's still Erica. Fucking C and a K. Phonetically sounding, it's still a C and a K. It's Erica. Okay. My middle name is Shantae. Many of you know that. It has a little apostrophe on it. Without the apostrophe, they go Shanta. I was like, that's for boys. Shanta with the is it Shantae. Okay. So again, say, well, Erica, what about this person or that person? Condoleezza Rice speaks 5 languages. Condoleezza Rice is literally has a minority owner in several sports teams. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're not about to put little Zeruka Vruka Sky through 5 language classes. You don't. You're not. Cut it out. Knock it off. I work in government. I see why. Man, I know people that work for HUD and Section 8, and they tell me about the emails and the Yahoos and the hotmails.com. And they literally have to take people aside and be like, don't use this email. This is like, are you born in a barn level etiquette? Are you born in a barn? Are you stupid? This is the same argument from parents sending their kid to kindergarten can't read. That's your job. He's 5. 5 is enough time to figure out how to write your name, how to read the most basic kindergarten book. You should be familiar with symbols, names, and letters. Okay? That's all. I want you to understand, when teachers say these children's names, look at the teachers' faces. The most beautiful name to your ear is your name. Imagine how white, mostly white, because that's what most teachers are white now, say this name to this child. This child's going to be embarrassed. This child's going to be embarrassed. The teacher's going to make a stinky face when they say their name. And that is a frequency. Y'all don't understand it, but that's a frequency. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is, you know, Erica, why you always talking about Walmart and stuff? And a lot of people have heard about price gouging and how they're going to change the prices depending on who's in there. Many people don't believe this. And this is why I'm going to lead the show into talking about building your own frequency and your own sales. But here, let's go here real quick. I want you to hear this, because many people aren't ready for this. You all for me. I'm in, just like that.
Let me start off by saying that if you have the means, you should not be shopping at Walmart. I understand that there are some areas where Walmart has basically taken over and pushed other businesses out, and they are the only place that you can go. You know, some rural areas and things like that. But if you have the means to shop elsewhere, Walmart and Target, you are not supposed to be going there. That being said, the issue here is Walmart has already stated, and several other big box stores, that they are going to start using, essentially changing the price per person. So this is where they could very easily implement something like that. You remove the price scanners. You remove the prices off of the items. And dependent on who is using that Walmart app and checking the prices, they could change the price here and there, dependent on that person. Amazon does that. Amazon currently does that. Literally changes the prices depending on who's looking at an item on their store. So, okay, boomer. No. Someone who's genuinely concerned for the state of the world right now. Not a fucking boomer. I need y'all to call boomers boomers. Call people who act like boomers boomers. But people who don't want... Number one, it's an accessibility thing. You should not have to use the Walmart app, which I have on my phone. It is the most annoyingly confusing bullshit ass thing. And I'm really good with tech. Like, it's infuriating. I'm not going to go into it, but I had a moment with it, you know, a few months ago. But I want you to understand that it's an accessibility thing. If you don't have the prices there at the store and you're forcing people to use an app, it's the same issue with Walmart not having tap to pay, that you have to use Walmart Pay. Proprietary bullshit. You shouldn't have to. That's the problem. And then on top of that, they're going to change prices depending on the people. Y'all need to get with the fucking times.
Okay, he get mad, but I love it. I love his getting mad. I want you to understand what's happening. They're doing this at Harris Teeter. They're doing this at the grocery store too, where they have the digital price on the screen. Why do they have digital price instead of paper? Because paper, they got to come in and change every day. The little digital, they're like, oh, that saves money. We don't have to print out all this paper. That's actually a lie. The digital thing is so they can keep changing prices. They change prices at 4 o'clock to 6 p.m. That's right, dinner time. This is why when I hear from women, and I'm not bashing women. I am a girl's girl. I actually know women who hate other women. It's kind of scary. I'm like, damn, did your mama beat you? What's going on? If you're a woman who's like, oh my God, I gotta go to the store. 4 o'clock, I forgot 15 things to make dinner tonight. That's crazy to me. That's chaotically crazy to me. If you have children and family, and even when I visit my family members, I'll just go ahead and decide what I'm cooking for the next 2 days. If they're like, could you help out? Sure, no problem. And I already just decide. I decide some spaghetti. I decide some chicken. I decide some salmon, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and play it's 4 o'clock. Maybe we should take something out of the defrost game. That's crazy to me. That's just unnecessary stress. I almost feel like people do it because their lives are boring. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to cook for dinner. It's 3 o'clock. Like, I have a friend whose kids are 5 years old. And I'll be on the phone with her. And she's like, I ain't took nothing out for dinner. Girl, it's 3 o'clock. Knock it off. Cut it out. You're just trying to find something to do with your day. These are all things that can be written down and pre-planned on Sunday night. Okay. But that's what they're counting on. They're counting on you to be so unorganized, so unprepared, so disheveled, so out of control with your own life and your own just budget for the week that you're like, I gotta go to the grocery store and buy spaghetti sauce at 5 o'clock. They know. They know you're unorganized. So they have these little digital things where they'll change the price. Now, when I want to buy stuff on Amazon, now see, when I was making big money, I was just tearing that Amazon up. I started noticing, I called my sister and say, can you look this up? And hers would be half price, or it'd be like $10 less. I'd be like, wait a minute. Is this because it's in Texas? Like, what's happening? Amazon, no. Hey, like, this person got some money. Magically, the prices are a little bit higher. All of a sudden, my sister and me buy the same water. Why is it $30 for her and $37 for me? Well, because you're in Texas. No. They've been doing this. They've been tinkering with it, adjusting it. And most people aren't paying attention. And most people so still lost talking about Kirk and Bible verses. They're still on Facebook crying right now. They can't even think about this. Okay. Listen, when I go on Walmart, it's against my will. It's because I'm with somebody and they're like, we just got to get this thing from Walmart. I'd be like, oh my God, it's against my will. I don't want to go in that place. The energy is bad. It's like the same bad energy when I get on the plane to fly to Las Vegas. The energy is bad. The energy on the plane is, I'm desperate. I got to win something at this craps table. I'm getting out here to Las Vegas so I can trick. I'm pent up from work. The energy on the plane is bad. That's why I'm flying semi-private later this year to Las Vegas. I can't deal with the people and the energy. The energy's stinky. One time I told somebody Walmart smells like poverty and bad decisions, and they about cussed me out. I said it do. Because why would you want to go somewhere where they don't give you good customer service? They don't talk to you. They don't make eye contact. They don't care if you're late. They don't care if you can't find stuff. That's crazy to me. That you think that's acceptable behavior. That you allow somebody to treat you like that. That's crazy. Get out of here. Get out of here. Don't they do that at stores? Did they do? They do. They adjust it. Did you say your daughter's name is Leanne? I mean, I'm reading that as Leanne. I'm gonna leave that alone though. Some Black people couldn't pronounce it because they say Leanne Janae because they were used to adding accents for this. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna back up out of there. I'm gonna back right up out of that. Oh yeah. Listen, I put stuff in the cart. I put like 80 things in my cart. Listen, don't judge me. I have a problem with Amazon. I put 80 things in my cart. I came back 3 days later. Everything was reduced down by $5 each. I promise you. Very low price all of a sudden. I was like, oh. They're like, your cart went from $1,000 to $822. I was like, what changed? So, am I Borging? Or are you saying I sound bougie? Which one is this? Y'all let me know. Am I Borging? Can y'all hear me clearly? Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me right now. Or she's saying I sound bougie. Which one is it? I'm trying to figure out what if that word is what I'm thinking it is. You can let me know. I only shop at a small Walmart, and there you go. You had to. This is 101 of budgeting. Is writing a list out. That's what I'm about to say. Like, what is you spelling? Is you spelling bougie? I'm trying to figure out if they spelling bougie. Because this is not bougie. This word right here is in bougie. Bougie? Bougie? Am I bogging? Okay. Let me leave it alone. Let me get out of there. Because I think that's what you're trying to spell. You're trying to spell bougie? 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 I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. If you're new here, I apologize. If you're not new, I'm not trying to insult you. I really be reading these like, is this what they're trying to say? I'm trying to make sure we both clear. Long story short, if you have a family, your goal is to budget. Your goal is to write out a budget for the week and what meals you are having. Because this is 101 of how to manage a family. You know, my mom was in the military. She had a green accounting book. She put her paycheck in there. She write out all the bills. And this is how much we had left for A, B, and C. Dad would put his information in there. Boom. This is how much we have for this. That's why I'm such a stickler for this, because I grew up watching my parents. This is the budget for the week. This is the meals for the week. This is what I got to go to the store and get. Okay. This is what we have to go get. Because that's 101 of running your family and managing your house. Do you see? Charles, we're in it right now. We got products on Amazon FBA right now. Are you going to dedicate money to marketing? And that's where I'm going. Charles, I'm taking the show there in a second. Give me about 2 minutes and you're about to get all that conversation I was getting ready to do. That does happen when I leave stuff in the car. Come back and it's cheaper. Been a Walmart member for years. We tell everybody at Walmart, Applebee's family while owning 3 homes in zip code 6 miles from Jack's Beats. Okay. Okay. I mean, nothing wrong with it, John. I mean, I just don't like the care and how they treat customers. If you're at a Walmart place and they treat y'all great, congratulations, John. It's not no disrespect. I'm just saying the Walmarts I've been into, poor customer service, poor long lines, very few registers open. People don't care. I don't understand what's the struggle here at the job. We just in here to buy stuff. That's what the building's for, right? I refuse to kind of go in there. Target, some Targets suck. There's 2 Targets in Austin that are very hood. Not because of the people, because it's a white city, but it's like how they keep the place. It's unclean, it's dirty, it's messy. No. Mm-mm. That attracts a certain type of person. I don't know if y'all noticed this at some of these what do you call those? Hobby Lobby, and what's that other store called, y'all? What's them discount stores called? Help me out. I ain't trying to be disrespectful. I don't want y'all to think Erica's a jerk. I don't care what you think, really, but Hobby Lobby and what's the other ones? The discount stores. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What are the discount store names? Put it in the chat. The more messy they are, like Burlington Coat Factory and all that stuff like that, I run in there to go, like, if I break my suitcase, I go run in there and go get another suitcase and leave. I try to not even stay in there too long. I'd be like, ugh, it's gross in here. Burlington, Marshall, Ross, thank you, Dollar Tree, all that stuff. If there's something, 1 or 2 items I have to run and get real quick, I will do it. Burlington, I'll run and get a suitcase real quick. I'm like, oh, my suitcase broke. Then I tore my suitcase up at the airport. I'll go run and get another suitcase real quick. I don't mind doing that. If I buy a lot of stuff while I'm on vacation, I'll go run and get another suitcase. Just so I'm not overstuffing the suitcase and stressed out. I do that. Okay. But that is what it is. I'm coming back to you, Charles. Hold on a second. Yeah, people don't budget because they say it's outdated, yet many are struggling, behind on bills, and don't even have $100 to their name. And I think that's because people don't have to use cash as much anymore. They can just keep swiping, and studies show you'll swipe 20% more when you swipe with your debit card. So they've already studied that. I do Nightdale, Walmart. There's one in Raleigh I hate with a passion. God bless you. Well, I'm glad. I'm really not. I'm not not Five Below, TJ Maxx. Yeah. I'm really being serious. If you have a great store, they're treating you with respect, no problem. No problem. All right, so here we go. He said, hey, how do you feel about Amazon today? Is it still worth pursuing a side hustle? Yes. If you're my digital delivery warriors and other places, I'm going to break this down. Yeah, just nasty. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let y'all have that. Okay, and let me go here. Now, why am I talking about? I've been talking about affiliate marketing for a lot. I've been talking about a lot of digital inbound. If you worked in any type of sales company, like sales related, you know why I kept bringing up tech for so much. Now, this is if you're in Digital Delivery Warriors, you saw this post earlier. We'll go over this some more. But let me just show this like this. Let me show this like this. Okay, this is this ain't the one I want, but let me go over here. What about this one? Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Okay. All right. This is a bot link. Okay. This is an affiliate. This is like ClickBank. This is like any of the other ones, right? But this is better than ClickBank. So this has like 1,300. It could have more. They're gonna always be more coming. I don't want to zone your eyeballs out with that, but as you can see, there's a ton in here. Alphabetical order, right? Okay. Hopefully y'all can see that. We're good. You can all see that. Okay. Now, I'm gonna show y'all a couple examples. Now, what is the standard? If you watch me or you watch any of the stuff I have, I didn't realize we're getting into an hour, but it is what it is. I'll cut this in half. Where is the kind of marketplace going? It's people jumping on TikTok. I hate TikTok. Jumping on TikTok, making videos, has an affiliate link, and they make money and they get paid out. The original old school way of this is you signed up to a bunch of affiliate stuff and you created it. Now, let's say today, I'm going to use, for example, a couple of things, but I'm going to go RV life, right? I'm not an RV life person. I don't want to be an RV life person, but People know that, right? People are like, I ain't really feeling RVs like that. So let me show you this. This is native camper vans, right? And you're like, okay, what? I'm gonna get $100 commission, 30-day cookie. Okay, cool. They're in Denver, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Phoenix. What do y'all know about those places? They do a lot of what? Van life, camping in the woods, all that good stuff. Now I'm gonna go here. It's $100 commission. I know it. I'm gonna apply. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Now I'm gonna go over here to their website. I want to see like what kind of video should I make? What should I talk about? Right. Now I'm gonna show you two reasons why for this. Let me go here. Boom, here it is. All right, so don't let the summer slip away. Get 20% off trips. Now, I would make a series of videos, or I'd make just 2 or 3 and be like, man, I ain't no van life person, but I took a weekend off and we went to do this. We went to go see some vans, or we went to rent a place, or we took it to the woods. Why is this company so good? They got fresh bedding, roadside assistance, extra drivers, cooking essentials, camp chairs and tables, inverter, change devices. Right? I can do 100 miles every day. That's $28 a night. Or I can do unlimited miles just for $65 a night. Roam boldly. Now, what do we know about most people's job and work and capability? What do we know about most people's jobs, work, and capability to go on vacation? What do we know, everybody? What do we know? What do we know? Put it in the comments. Come on, work with me. We can wrap this up. Hit the like button for sure. You're right about the energy. I shop at night because I found a lot of things on sale. Also get to know the staff. Butcher Produce will hook you up from the back. Facts. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. All right, weekends. Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. Got to plan ahead. Put in for time off. Bing, 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 bing. So what do I know? I know most of y'all are going to be weekend warriors. So I know you ain't driving that many miles. I know you ain't tearing it up like that. They can have to ask for to go on vacation. That is true. And so I know this is going to be a high turnaround time. You're going to fly in, and one of the things they talk about on their band structure rentability is you ain't got to talk to nobody. You can go on over there, click in, have your stuff, insurance ready to go. You ain't got to talk to nobody. Boom, boom, boom. You in there, you out of there. People love that. They want to have everything ready, prepared for them. They just go to the grocery store real quick with their spouse, and then they're going to go camp out somewhere. They're going to go to the park with the van. Now they get to feel cool van life for the weekend, take a lot of cool pics, hashtag for the gram, right? But without the what? Now, because they got some for sale on here too. They got some add-ons, but they get to do it without having to what? Change their lifestyle. Most people cannot change their lifestyle. Most people are locked into a lot of debt with a house, a lot of debt with several cars. So this is their reprieve to kind of dream. They ain't 20 no more. Maybe they have kids, but they get a chance to play outside like this without always having to go find a bathroom to go use the bathroom. There's so many ways I can go with this, but I'm gonna stop. Okay. And so it gives the appeal of like, let's go do this for a weekend, right? It's convenient, right? It's convenient. Yes. So they're pretending to be hobos. They are adventurous hobos, right? Like I keep talking about wanting another Forerunner. And my family's like, why? You ain't camping like that with no Forerunner. I'm like, but it's the principle. I like them. If that or another Jeep right there at this point for me. But so we're going here. And what would I do? Okay, this is an example I was going to show y'all. This is how popular van life is. I just type in van life, you get countless videos. I would make a video saying, because a lot of these people get burnt out, they sad, they solo, they lonely, they go back to regular life. I would literally just make a video talking about weekend van life or something to that effect. And I would point out all the affiliate marketing opportunities. I'm talking about batteries. I'm talking about you name it. And then I could just run ads on that one video, y'all. I don't even have to use TikTok Shop. I literally can run ads off my one video. People not ready for that conversation, but there's a way to do this. Okay. Again, this right here is Overland Solar. It's $595, $554. Now you're going to say, who's paying $500 for stuff like that? People who want to pretend to be hobos, people who think the world's going to crash tomorrow, people who want to be prepared, people who make good money, right? People who gonna sit in their garage, maybe use it in the summer at the beach, right? That's who's gonna use it. And this is great because guess what? I'm gonna get a what? A commission check off of what? This. All right. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Now I would use it. Here it is. I get 10% commission on it. So that's $50. So just in one RV video for the weekend, and I can take a ton of pictures. Like I can tell y'all the whole video, the gamification of this, but I literally could rent a van life for 1 week, take a ton of videos, click it up, little short videos. If I really wanted to really kind of go ham, rent the van life for a week, have a friend come with me, do all the photography. I'm talking about videos, little short clips, little affiliate marketing links, and then say, oh man, this was so helpful for me. And I'm not a regular van life person. I just did this for this weekend and make a ton of money. Make a ton of money. They're so beautiful. Make a ton of money. So a lot of people out here I'm going to go get on TikTok. I'm going to get on Instagram and I'm going to get some free traffic. The truth is, whether you're doing digital liberty warriors, where I talk about getting leads to your business, whether it's a service business, digital, whatever, I'm going to be able to what? Draw traffic to me. That's why you see so many people running ads right now. And I only trying to name some people, but I could name several people right now. Let me show you this one right here. Okay. Yeah. Content for months. That's what y'all don't understand. A lot of these van life people, as soon as they got some money, they got out of them vans, but they're showing you old content. Let me show you this one. This one is Wildwood Grilling, 6% commission, 45-day cookie. You're like, okay, well, what's so cool about this? All right. So this is, and again, this is just a teaching moment for the best I can do. This is wood planks, right? But what's the concern right now? Germs, food particles, poison and stuff, plastic everywhere. We're trying to get away from plastic. So again, the Wood Grills is saying, hey, we're made in the United States. We're pesticide free. We're sustainably harvest. We're food safe, right? Right? You need some of this. Get these grilling wraps. Get these smoker chips. Come on, get these fire starters. Somebody who watches me, let's say I go in my backyard with the planks and a grill, and I knock out 20 recipes or something, or 10 simple recipes. I will get the opportunity to what? Run video on that, run ads on that. I could literally make 2 videos, never make another Instagram post on it, and just run ads on that video, $5 a day for the next 4 months. Why? Because it's the fall. People are spending more. As we go into the fall, people spend more. I went to the Hobby Lobby with an aunt the other day, and I'm talking about they was in there buying Halloween stuff like it was going out of style. Half my mom's neighborhood already has Halloween stuff up. People are in a spending mode. They in the mode. They already in the mode. You ain't got to force them. They're there. They're already there. Right? This isn't a holding people against their will. They're already there. They're already in the frequency of spending more money. They're already in the fall season mentality. Okay? Microplastic moms, yes, are going to be big. I'm telling you, it's a big category. A big category. Micro conditions matter. Okay? I know folks who romanticize van life because they follow someone sleeping in their car. They want to travel without having to pay for a hotel, so they want to sleep in their car. Yeah. I've seen store putting out Halloween stuff in August. Yeah, people in the neighborhood already had this stuff out. Right? So I'm just showing you multiple ways to make money digitally. This is something y'all could literally for a Saturday make burgers, make salmon tacos, make a couple things, and then and clean up one corner of your yard, and you'll have an ad for the rest of the year. Many people be like, Erica, I don't want people looking at me. I don't want to always be in front of the camera. You don't have to be. There is countless cooking videos where you never see the guy's face. He's always showing you cooking something, but you never see his face, right? It's a big deal. And you can also put your products on these websites. That's why I want y'all to understand, like, it's more than that. It's more than that. Let me show you a small one. Oh, Lord. And why am I bringing this up to you? Because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to change my whole life and do all this content. You don't have to. You really don't. You really can make something for a weekend and then just run ads on it. There's like 5 ads we're getting ready to run. Let me show you this tab. This is Boogie Brothers, 7% commission, right? What is it on? What is it on? This is people selling golf stuff. Let me show you. I have to pull it up. Hold on. Do I have it pulled up? I thought I had it. Good googly moogly. I don't have it. Let me pull it back up, y'all. Hold on one second. This is Bogey Bros. They're out of Texas. You already know. Again, there's several Black people who are doing really good at this. They're creating content around golf, right? And why is that important? Because it's a stopper. It's a pattern interruption. You don't see that many Black dudes playing golf, but there's a lot of Instagram pages where Black men are playing golf. And again, so you get these polos, they're selling them for $70, 7% of $70. You do the math, right? So I'm out here showing this, and again, I can go silly or I can go serious, right? You see the content they're already making, right? The only thing I really like is the America. Yeah. Love the America hats. Okay. So again, you could literally have some golf content. And again, I don't want you to turn every part of your life into a content machine. Everything's recorded. You don't have to, but that's why I want people to understand, like, in this climate we're in where people aren't reading, but they are watching or they're observing. You don't even have to be funny or silly in some of these things. You can just be pictures. It can literally just be pictures. Literally. Faceless videos. Yeah. Lots of them. Right. And you don't even have to do a ton of videos. I'm just telling y'all, if you literally do a photo shoot and change your clothes a couple times, man, you use those content all year long. I've seen people go to the golf course, change clothes twice. They're taking videos of them teeing off. I already know what they're doing. There's a young lady who has, I buy my professional suits from, custom suits and shirts. She goes into this one part of her house and she changes the suits multiple times. She put on about 4 or 5 different suits, and it says, "Get ready with me." Now I already know she done changed in that suit in that same spot with the same lighting like 10 times. But she'll just post it every couple of days. "Oh, get ready with me." And you're like, "Girl, I already know what time it was. I already knew you. You've been had that, right? You've been had that on." So again, there was a couple more in the stack. This is also another example. This is RV Share. They were also an affiliate. Again, you just come to the campsite and book your RV. They already got the place. Look, we already got the places lined up for you. You could just here, $80 a night, $115 a night. You and the kids. There's a place in Las Vegas we like. It's in the mountains. We just rent the RV there. They'll put it there for us. Okay. I want to tow. I want to drive. Right? They're giving you options. Okay. I want my RV delivered. I want it already delivered. Now, here's the flip side. You can earn money renting your RV. Guess what? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let this company manage my RV. These companies are now to the point where they ain't even got the RV. They literally are Ubering. They're an Uber. They don't got they don't have the quantity of stuff. They just have you renting the stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Making you a little bit of money. Now you may say, Erica, who would let somebody rent out their stuff? For $40K a year, $20K a year. Somebody who's in the debt up in their eyeballs, who ain't gonna use the RV like that. They ain't using it like that. That's who. Again, this is rvshare.com. Y'all can check this out on your own time. I'm just trying to break down the ways that y'all can make money. I mean, you can literally right now, with the way things are digitally, sign up for 4 or 5 affiliates, go out for a weekend, film yourself shooting guns in an RV, cooking on the planks, and then now you have content for months. Now, some people say, I don't want to do content. I want to be cool. You can pay somebody else to be the content face. You can always do that. Right? So again, this is, again, the Boogie Bros, right? Kind of silly, kind of like it's the younger people's golf, right? Designs on the shirts, enjoying themselves, right? It's a certain group. It's a certain group of people, right? Okay. Let me see. And you're going to say, why would these companies sign up with this affiliate? Why would they, start this? I want you to understand most of these companies, if they can get, this is another one example. This is Sasquatch Tea. If they can get, 60% or 80% of their sales from affiliate marketing, that saves them on ads. Same thing happens on TikTok. A lot of people will blow up. Facts. A lot of people will blow up on TikTok Shop or Instagram. One of their videos goes viral. Acre Boys used a video where I was talking about land. It went viral. And what happens is people will start messaging you like, hey, what's up? And all that does is bring more content and attention back to you, right? And your brand, which is great. But really, it's just cash flow. It's just capital moving cash flow. If I've got 4 or 5 different companies paying me a couple thousand every month, and I'm gonna be their best friend. They're gonna be my best friend. Why? They're gonna be like, how can we help you? Can we help you find some more stuff? Again, grab the book, The Success Equation, The Quality of Earnings, and Geopolitical Alpha. I want y'all to understand, like, it's not just talking about stock market. It's not just talking about real estate. I love those things. The real estate's really a big aim for me. But a lot of these people, when I come talk to you about, and again, let me try to not be on here all day. Let me go over here. Let me show y'all this. This is prime example. This is the Nueve team. Okay, now what is this? This is the one guy who bought all these companies. Wrench Time Plumbing, Your Home Service, Plumbing, Sewer, Drain, Care Plus, 1 hour heating and air conditioning. Liberty Services, Odessa, Texas, heating and air conditioning. Now, why is he showing you all these? Why is he showing you all these? Because this is him. Let me show y'all him. This is him. I'm telling y'all. It's funny. He's got God's favorite. Home service janitor, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, Orange County. He's not even in that part of Texas, but he bought up 5 companies in that part of Texas. Why? Why did he buy up 5 companies in that part of Texas, y'all? Why did he buy up 5 companies in Texas before I play this video? I've been talking to y'all about service businesses a lot. I've been talking about middleman to millions. Why and how did he buy up 5 businesses in the same city area? Okay, can y'all hear me now? I'm back. Put a 1 in the comments if I'm back. I apologize. Put a 1 in the comments if I'm back. The 3 books I mentioned at the beginning of the show and multiple times is The Success Equation. It's got a little bit of sports in there. Guys might like that one. Quality of Earnings and Geopolitical Alpha by Marco Papic. All right. If you can hear me and see me, let me know. I'm gonna wrap it up now because it's like it's tripping. A ton of upside to build a book of business and follow up. Yes. Now, if you hear here, I'm gonna play this clip of him right here where he talks about there's no labor shortage right here. Let me see if it'll play it. Let me see if it'll play it.
Bro, is that you might know that you pay the best, but nobody else does. And you might know that you may do the best installs in the industry, but none of the customers know that. So you got to like start being loud about who you are and, you know, what your company stands for, who your culture is, and, you know, where your company's going. Because right now, if you're quiet about it, nobody's going to want to work for that. And you might not be the person, bro. You might not be the person. I was the person because I love interacting with people. I love hiring. I love reading. I love reading the people. I'm like, okay, this guy goes here. This guy, like, I love doing that. You might be the, you know, the operational guy that wants to be in the background, and you need to hire somebody to do that shit, right? So, but how do you get people to work for you? Number one, you got to pay them more than everybody else. And number two, you got to be loud about it.
That is how, and every time I keep telling y'all, the average guy that does blue collar services just wants to be operational. He just want to come in. He want to fix things. He do not want to run ads. He don't want to be marketing. He don't want to call customers for reviews. He don't want to follow up. That's not what he wants to do. He want to come in. Is the air conditioner fixed? Did I fix it the best? Yes, I fixed it quick. Great. And so you have the power and advantage in Middleman to Millions, whether you do digital side of things with Digital Liberty Warriors, or you do Middleman to Millions business. Where if you're running ads, if you're running $1,000 a month, you're going to beat everybody out, because most guys aren't even running that. They're running off referrals, reviews. If you go to his page, this is him. You know, he's sliding into the position of frequency of coaching and marketing. But if you look at his stuff, this is Ishmael Valdez. That's his biggest thing. Is like a lot of you guys. And this is the one I really wanted to show y'all. A lot of people talk about, oh, the bank won't give me money, but business won't give me money. And it's like, some of you may have.
The problem with your business is you don't have enough sales guys. You're not a sales-driven organization. If you had 2 sales guys right now and the leads were flowing in, they would be producing 3 times the amount of what you're producing. You need to get out of your old ways. What I would do right now, fucking go hire a sales guy. You go hire a badass fucking sales guy that's going to go in there and close 6 to 8 deals for you 60% of the time. When inside of the house, game over. That money gets funded right away. The people that need working capital are the people that are in long-term fucking, go do this job for $100,000 and we're going to pay you in 90 days. You need working capital for that, because 90 days of survival without money is hard. But since we go inside the house one day and come back with a ticket, we get funded the rest of the money through credit card, through check, or through a finance the same or next day. Why do you need working capital? We grew to 108 mil with no working capital. It was all the profit inside the business. Stop taking it from the business. Go grab a sales guy and fucking dump it into marketing. You'll be fine.
I love him because he cuts through the bull. But this is, I really want you to understand, when somebody says, Erica, what's one of the fastest ways I can grow? I'm going to tell you it's digital, because you can do it after work, after hours. It's going to be putting that content up, recording it for a weekend, putting a bunch of content up. Affiliate marketing, sales, direct to your products. The second way will be, if you're in a service business, is to have a guy who's running around, and that's his whole 8 hours, is visiting houses, doing follow-up, calling people, getting the sales locked in, and then a guy who actually can do the service. Man, and you run a little bit of ads. So in Middleman to Millions, in the school group and in the class, we're going to show some of the concrete ads we're running right now. And we're going to show a few other things that we have going for us. But it's one of the fastest ways to get close to money. Because whether you realize it or not, when people call you, by the time somebody calls you, ask all the steps to wealth. She may not be here today, but ask her. By the time somebody call you about that refrigerator, that part, that concrete, that porch, that deck, that's been on their mind 6 months to a year. That they know they need it fixed. They know it needs to get repaired. They've been dragging their feet about, but now they're like, I got to do it because of what? A, B, and C. Something's happening. And it just takes the right person coming over there talking to them. It just is what it is. Okay. And that's, and you can't be the owner, the sales, and the repair guy. It is too exhausting to do all three. You have to have at least 3 people if you want $1 million company. Just being honest. Even on the digital side. Me telling y'all go get the RV and take pictures. Like, yeah, you could set the camera up. You could take the pictures. You could do all that in a weekend. You could. Who's editing? Who's making short clips? Who's doing all this other stuff? Because you got to go back to work on Monday. So I'm just wanting you to think bigger. I want you to get into that frequency of excellence. And yes, there's 16 weeks left in the year, but you can get into a momentum. Again, a lot of this is ebbs and flows, and having a heavy momentum, you can coast in December. You can coast the last 2 weeks of the year when it's just Christmas and you're tired. But you have to actually roll it up, right? To get the coasting. you gotta have the momentum ball so that you can coast, because just getting by won't work. If your parents, this is why I always was, when I would see like little janitor ladies and kitchen ladies at the college, East Carolina, I always worried about them. Like, I hope they own their house. I hope they own their car, because if they keep making the same money they was making at ECU as a janitor lady 10 years later, I'm worried about them. This ain't the military. You don't always get automatic increases, and your body's banged up. So I just want people to understand that. Look, called a plumber, got a call back 8 days later from the company. I'm telling you, I'm getting stuff repaired and done. And that's why you have to have more than one person on the phone. It's whoever can come the fastest, whoever can do. And again, they may be busy and they may even give you a great price now that it's 8 days later. But guess what? You probably already called another company. So I'm just trying to give y'all a couple of different options. You can do digital stuff. You could do service business stuff. But if you want to learn how to get the leads to you, that's part of what my next couple live Wednesday trainings are. Just showing you how we get the leads to us. That's all. So I've been on here long enough. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys heard what I had to say. Drop one in the comments if you enjoyed it. Say, drop a city and state, all that good stuff. But we'll go further into this, and I hope y'all have a great Saturday. There's things I didn't even get to touch on, but we're going to save them. We're going to save them for the next, okay? All right, you guys, this is your girl, Erica, Classy Client Blog. You guys have a wonderful day. We're going to go get this grill on. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance. And guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done. And that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's your girl, Erica Williams.